Los Angeles, March 2010, 4:17 a.m. The Iron Yard Gym sits on a quiet street in West Hollywood. No neon signs. No fancy logo. Just a steel door with a keypad lock. The kind of place serious people come to do serious work when nobody's watching. Jean-Claude Van Damme pushes through the door. The gym is dark, except for a single row of fluorescent lights buzzing over the free weight area. He likes it this way. Empty. Silent. Just him and the iron. He's 49 years old. His body doesn't recover like it used to. Sleep is harder. Pain is constant. But he's here anyway, because this is what he does. This is who he is. Even when Hollywood doesn't call. Even when the roles dry up. Even when people whisper he's done. He drops his gym bag against the wall. Unzips it. Pulls out his wraps. His hands are scarred. Knuckles that have broken and healed wrong. Fingers that don't straighten completely anymore. But they still work. They still hit. He wraps his right hand first. The ritual is meditative. Loop around the wrist. Between the fingers. Over the knuckles. Pull tight. Secure. Then the left hand. Same process. Muscle memory from 40 years of training. The gym smells like sweat and rubber and old metal. It smells like work. Like suffering. Like the only honest thing left in a city built on lies. Van Damme walks to the heavy bag hanging in the corner. 150 pounds. Red leather worn smooth from years of impact. He doesn't stretch, doesn't warm up properly. Just starts hitting. Left jab. Right cross. Left hook. The bag swings slightly with each strike. His mind is elsewhere. On the bills piling up at home. On his agent's last email. No callbacks for 3 months. On his daughter's college tuition coming due. On the fact that he's 49 and feeling 60 and wondering how much longer he can keep pretending everything's fine. He hits harder. The bag swings wider. Sweat starts to bead on his forehead. Then he hears it. The steel door opening. Footsteps on concrete. Heavy. Deliberate. Someone else is here. Van Damme stops mid-punch. Turns slightly. Doesn't look directly. Just watches from the corner of his eye. A figure moves through the shadows into the light. Broad shoulders. Thick neck. That unmistakable silhouette. Sylvester Stallone. Van Damme's breath catches for half a second. He turns back to the bag. Keeps hitting. Pretends he didn't notice. But his rhythm is off now. His punches land awkwardly. Stallone walks past him. Doesn't say anything. Just nods once. Barely perceptible. And continues to the bench press station 20 feet away. The air in the gym feels different now. Charged. 2 men who haven't spoken in 15 years suddenly sharing the same space at 4 in the morning. To understand why this moment matters, you need to go back. 1990s. The peak of action movie dominance. Schwarzenegger. Stallone. Van Damme. Willis. Seagal. These men weren't just actors. They were gods. Their faces on billboards 3 stories high. Their names above titles. Their paychecks in the tens of millions. But there was a hierarchy. An unspoken pecking order. Schwarzenegger was number 1. Undisputed. The Austrian oak who became the biggest star on the planet. Stallone was number 2. Rocky. Rambo. The Italian stallion. Respected. Legendary. And then everyone else fighting for 3rd place. Van Damme wanted that spot badly. Bloodsport had made him a star. Kickboxer confirmed it. Universal Soldier expanded his range. By 1994, he was commanding $8 million per film. He was on magazine covers. He was a household name, but the media loved to compare. Loved to rank. Loved to pit these men against each other. Van Damme versus Stallone. Who's the real action king? Can the muscles from Brussels dethrone the Italian stallion? The articles were everywhere. Entertainment Weekly. Premiere Magazine. Variety. Creating a rivalry that didn't really exist. Except it did exist. Because ego is real. Because competition is human nature. Because when someone suggests you're second best, part of you wants to prove them wrong. A reporter asked Stallone about Van Damme in 1994. The quote made headlines. He's very talented. But action movies require more than just kicks. They require presence. Gravitas. Something the audience believes in. It was diplomatic. Professional. But there was an edge to it. A subtle dismissal. Van Damme responded 2 weeks later in another interview. Stallone is a legend. Rocky is a masterpiece. But legends get old. The new generation is here. The soundbite spread everywhere. The rivalry was official. Media sanctioned. Boxed and sold. They never spoke about it directly. Never confronted each other. Just existed in parallel universes. Occasionally intersecting at industry events where they'd shake hands for cameras and say nothing of substance. But beneath the surface, both men knew. The tension was real. And then both their careers started to slip. For Van Damme, it was the late 90s and early 2000s. His personal life became tabloid fodder. Cocaine addiction, failed marriages, erratic behavior on sets. The big studios stopped calling. The budgets got smaller. The releases went straight to video. By 2004, he was doing movies nobody saw. Playing villains in low-budget action films, shot in Eastern Europe. The magazines that once put him on covers now ran whatever happened to articles. For Stallone, the decline was slower but just as painful. After Copland in 1997, his critical triumph, he expected a career renaissance. It didn't come. His action movies underperformed. Get Carter bombed. Driven failed. Detox went straight to video. By 2006, he was considered washed up. A relic. His attempt to revive Rocky with Rocky Balboa was seen as desperate. A 60-year-old man trying to recapture glory that was gone. The movie succeeded. Made $155 million worldwide. Proved Stallone still had something. But it was a lonely victory. He'd spent years in the wilderness. Years being dismissed. Years watching younger actors take the roles he used to own. Both men knew what it felt like to fall. To go from the top to irrelevant. To walk into rooms and see pity in people's eyes. Neither talked about it publicly. But they both knew. Back in the gym. 4:23 a.m. Van Damme is trying to focus on his workout. But he can hear Stallone across the room. The clang of plates being loaded. The creak of the bench. The controlled breathing of a heavy lift. Van Damme finishes with the heavy bag. Unwraps his hands slowly. Every movement deliberate. Buying time. Trying to decide if he should leave or stay or say something. He walks to the water fountain. Takes a long drink. The cold water helps. Clears his head slightly. When he turns around, Stallone is sitting up on the bench. Looking directly at him. Looking directly at him. Their eyes meet. For 3 seconds neither moves. Neither speaks. Just two men acknowledging each other's existence. Then Stallone speaks. His voice is rough. Tired. But there's something warm in it. You're here early. Van Damme nods. Can't sleep. Figured I'd work. Yeah. Stallone stands up. Walks a few steps closer. Not aggressive. Just closing the distance. I know that feeling. 4 a.m. thoughts are the worst. Van Damme almost smiles. Almost. The voices in your head are loudest when everything else is quiet. Exactly. Stallone is 10 feet away now. Close enough to talk normally. You training for something? Just training. Staying ready. Van Damme pauses. Then adds quietly. In case they call. Stallone nods slowly. Understanding immediately. Because he's lived it too. The waiting. The hoping. The pretending you're not desperate. They stop calling for a while. Then they forget you exist. Then they remember. But only when they need something cheap. Then if you're lucky, they remember why you mattered in the first place. Van Damme looks at him. Really looks. Sees the same exhaustion he feels. The same weight. Rocky Balboa brought you back. Barely. Had to fight for that movie. Every studio said no. Said nobody wants to see an old boxer. I had to take pay cuts. Beg for financing. Stallone's jaw tightens. But we did it anyway. I saw it. 3 times. Van Damme's voice is quiet. Honest. It reminded me why I started doing this. Stallone's expression softens. Yeah. Because you showed what's possible. That there's still fight left. The silence that follows isn't uncomfortable. It's the silence of mutual recognition. 2 warriors who've been through battle understanding each other without needing more words. Then Stallone says something unexpected. I'm putting together a movie. Bunch of old action guys. One last job kind of thing. Tongue-in-cheek but also real. Expendable heroes nobody wants anymore, proving they still matter. He pauses. I want you in it. Van Damme's eyes widen slightly. What? The Expendables. That's the title. I've got commitments from a few guys. Dolph, Jet. Randy. Building an ensemble. But I need you. Your skills. Your presence. Your name. Van Damme doesn't respond immediately. Can't. Because this is the last thing he expected. An olive branch. An invitation. After 15 years of distance and unspoken rivalry and media-manufactured conflict. Why me? Stallone looks him straight in the eye. Because you're one of us. Because you earned your place. And because I was wrong. Wrong about what? That interview in '94. The presence and gravitas comment. It was dismissive. Condescending. I was protecting my territory. Treating you like competition instead of a peer. Stallone's voice is steady. Sincere. I'm sorry for that. Van Damme feels something crack inside his chest. Not break. Just shift. 15 years of carrying that quote. That subtle dismissal. The feeling of never quite measuring up. And now this. An apology. At 4:30 in the morning in an empty gym. I said some things too. The legends get old line. That was ego. Pride. I was trying to build myself up by tearing you down. We both were. Stallone extends his hand. But we don't have to anymore. Van Damme looks at the hand. Scarred knuckles. Thick fingers. The hand of someone who's worked as hard as he has. He takes it. They shake. Firm. Respectful. So you'll do it. The movie? Van Damme wants to say yes immediately. But he's learned caution. Learned to protect himself. What's the role? Villain. Best role in the movie. You'd be the main threat. The guy who pushes everyone to their limit. Showcases your skills properly. Not a cartoon. A real character. When? We shoot in 6 months. New Orleans and Brazil. 2 months of production. I can get you in the gym with my trainer. We'll all train together. Build the chemistry. Van Damme nods slowly. Okay. Yes. I'm in. Stallone grins. The famous crooked smile. Good. Now let's work out. I need someone to spot me and you're the only one stupid enough to be here this early. Van Damme laughs. Actually laughs. First real laugh in weeks. They train together for the next hour. Stallone on bench press. Van Damme on squats. Trading off. Spotting each other. Talking between sets about training methods and injuries. And the insanity of still doing this in their late 40s and early 60s. At one point, Stallone asks about Van Damme's split kicks. Can you still do the full split? Between 2 chairs? Yes. Between 2 moving trucks? Probably not anymore. Never say never. We might need that for the movie. If you pay me enough, I'll split between 2 planes. They both laugh. The sound echoes in the empty gym. The Expendables, released in August 2010. Made $274 million worldwide. Became a franchise. Proved that audiences still wanted these aging warriors. Still believed in what they represented. Van Damme wasn't in the first film. Scheduling conflicts. Script changes. Hollywood logistics. But Stallone kept his word. Van Damme got the villain role in The Expendables 2. The role was exactly what Stallone promised. Complex. Dangerous. Showcased Van Damme's martial arts against the entire ensemble. Critics called it his best work in a decade. More importantly, it brought him back. Reminded people he existed. Reminded them he mattered. But the real impact was personal. After that morning in the gym, Van Damme and Stallone stayed in touch. Text messages. Occasional calls. They'd meet for coffee when both were in LA. Talk about projects. About aging. About the weird blessing and curse of being known for something you did when you were young. In a 2012 interview, a reporter asked Stallone about the old rivalry with Van Damme. Stallone smiled. There was no rivalry. Just 2 guys who didn't know how to talk to each other. Ego gets in the way sometimes. But life has a way of humbling you. Breaking you down. And when you're broken, you realize we're all the same. All fighting the same fight. Van Damme responded on Twitter. Brothers don't need to agree on everything. They just need to show up when it matters. Stallone showed up. Forever grateful. 2018. Another gym. Early morning. Different city. Van Damme is training when his phone buzzes. Text from Stallone. Creed 2 looking good. Thinking about Expendables 4. You in? Van Damme smiles. Types back. 4 a.m. Same as always. I'll be there. 3 dots appear. Stallone is typing. See you there, brother. Van Damme puts his phone away. Returns to the heavy bag. His hands are wrapped. His body is tired, but he's here, still working, still fighting, because that morning in March 2010 taught him something important, that rivalry is easy. Ego is easy. Building walls is easy. What's hard is apologizing. What's hard is offering your hand to someone you saw as competition. What's hard is admitting you were wrong. Stallone did the hard thing, walked into that gym at 4 a.m., and chose connection over conflict. And that choice changed everything. Not just their careers, not just their relationship, their understanding of what strength really means. It's not about being the biggest, the toughest, the most successful. It's about showing up, being honest, extending grace, even when pride tells you not to, especially when pride tells you not to. Who in your life deserves an olive branch you're too proud to extend? What rivalry is costing you more than it's worth? Because 5 minutes is all it takes. 5 minutes of honesty. 5 minutes of humility. 5 minutes at 4 a.m. when nobody's watching and nothing matters except the truth between two people who've both been broken and both gotten back up. That's where real strength lives. Not in the muscles. Not in the achievements. In the courage to say I was wrong. Let's be better.